All right, let's take a closer look at one of the most intriguing and often overlooked tales from the Bible. A story that has been whispered about for centuries but seldom fully explored. The true nature of the serpent's temptation in the Garden of Eden. Picture this. The Garden of Eden, a place of breathtaking beauty and perfect peace. Adam and Eve live in harmony, their every need met by the Creator. But amidst this paradise, there's a figure lurking, a presence both mysterious and menacing. The serpent. But this isn't just any snake slithering around. This serpent is actually Lucifer, the fallen angel, a master of deception. The traditional story tells us that the serpent tempted Eve with the forbidden fruit, leading to the downfall of humanity. But what if there's more to it? What if the serpent's temptation was far more complex, far more personal? Some scholars of the Hebrew Bible, along with apocryphal texts, suggest a much deeper and more intimate interaction. The serpent, with his cunning charm and forbidden knowledge, doesn't just offer Eve a piece of fruit, he makes her a tantalizing offer. He promises her wisdom, power, and a deeper connection with the divine. His words are seductive, drawing Eve in. This isn't just about a piece of fruit. It's about crossing a boundary that was never meant to be crossed. The serpent, in his true form as Lucifer, seduces Eve, leading to a union that brings forth a new kind of knowledge, one that is both enlightening and devastating. This act of seduction, this forbidden encounter, is the real, original sin, a sin that gives birth to a lineage marked by its very origin. Some apocryphal texts and Kabbalistic writings suggest that Cain, Eve's firstborn, might not be Adam's son at all, but the offspring of Lucifer himself. This revelation could change everything we know about good and evil. Cain, born of this unholy union, carries the mark of his father, a mark that shapes his destiny and that of his descendants. Now, traditionally, we're taught that Cain and Abel were the sons of Adam and Eve. But what if that's not the full story? What if Cain's true father wasn't Adam, but Lucifer? Before you jump to conclusions, let's break it down. We've already talked about the possibility that the serpent, Lucifer in disguise, had a forbidden encounter with Eve in Eden. This secretive, taboo union may have resulted in Cain's birth. This isn't just a wild theory. There's evidence in ancient texts and traditions that back it up. Some of the apocryphal writings, which didn't make it into the official Bible, suggest that Cain was the result of a union between Eve and a being of immense power and darkness, Lucifer. So why does this matter? Because it changes the entire story of humanity. If Cain is truly the son of Lucifer, then his actions, his curse, and the fate of his descendants take on a whole new meaning. Cain's murder of Abel isn't just a crime of passion. It's the unfolding of a deeper, darker struggle between good and evil. Kabbalistic literature adds even more layers to this theory. These mystical texts suggest that the union between Eve and Lucifer was part of a cosmic plan, a battle between light and darkness played out in the human realm. Cain, born from this union, is marked not just with a curse, but with the legacy of his father. This mark signifies his role in the ongoing battle between divine order and chaotic rebellion. Imagine what this means. Cain, the first murderer, isn't just a troubled soul, but the progeny of Lucifer himself. Imagine this. Cain's actions aren't just random acts of violence, but the inevitable outcome of the dark legacy he carries. His lineage, marked from the beginning, is intertwined with an ancient struggle that started in the Garden of Eden. Now, let's dive into what the Gnostic texts have to say. These writings often present a different take on familiar biblical stories, and they offer a fascinating perspective on Cain. In Gnostic tradition, Cain isn't just a figure of darkness. He's also seen as someone with misunderstood potential. His bloodline carries not just a curse, but also the possibility for immense knowledge and power, traits inherited from his father, Lucifer. Now, let's explore one of the most intriguing and controversial ideas surrounding Cain and Abel, the concept of dual paternity, where Eve bore twins with different fathers. This isn't your typical biblical interpretation. This theory plunges us deep into the mysteries and hidden truths of ancient texts. Picture the Garden of Eden, a place of absolute purity and innocence, suddenly becoming the backdrop for an extraordinary act of dual parenthood. In a moment that defies conventional understanding, Eve conceives twins, Cain and Abel, from two different fathers. This isn't just about biting into a forbidden fruit, it's about a forbidden union that produces two children with vastly different destinies. Now let's explore one of the most intriguing and controversial ideas surrounding Cain and Abel, the concept of dual paternity, where Eve bore twins with different fathers. This isn't your typical biblical interpretation. This theory plunges us deep into the mysteries and hidden truths of ancient texts. Picture the Garden of Eden, a place of absolute purity and innocence, suddenly becoming the backdrop for an extraordinary act of dual parenthood. In a moment that defies conventional understanding, Eve conceives twins, Cain and Abel, from two different fathers. This isn't just about biting into a forbidden fruit. It's about a forbidden union that produces two children with vastly different destinies. On one side, there's Abel, son of Adam, representing the traditional lineage of humanity, marked by a connection to the divine and a sense of righteousness. Abel's existence is straightforward. He's the product of a lawful union blessed by the Creator. On the other side, we have Cain, whose origins are cloaked in darkness and controversy. Ancient texts and mystical traditions suggest that Cain's father isn't Adam, but Lucifer. This forbidden union between Eve and the fallen angel results in a child born with a dual nature, part human, part demonic. Cain's very existence is a living testament to this cosmic transgression. Kabbalistic and Gnostic writings offer fascinating insights into this duality. They suggest that Eve's encounter with Lucifer wasn't just a simple seduction, but a profound spiritual event. Through this union, Eve gains forbidden knowledge and gives birth to a son who embodies the conflict between good and evil. Imagine it, two brothers born at the same time, sharing the same mother but with fathers who are worlds apart. This sets the stage for an inevitable clash. Cain, marked by his father Lucifer, struggles with a darkness that drives him to jealousy and rage. Abel, embodying purity and divine favor, becomes the innocent victim of his brother's inner turmoil. This dual paternity theory isn't just wild speculation. It's supported by various ancient texts and interpretations passed down through the ages. In some Gnostic traditions, this idea of dual parenthood explains the profound differences between Cain and Abel. It's not just a story of sibling rivalry. It's a cosmic battle between the forces of light and darkness, played out in the earliest chapters of human history. Now, let's delve into one of the most captivating aspects of Cain's story, the curse placed upon him after he murders Abel. We're going to explore what the apocryphal texts and occult traditions have to say about this curse. So picture this. Cain, driven by jealousy and rage, commits the first murder in human history by killing his brother Abel. This act is monumental, not just because it's the first of its kind, but because of the profound consequences that follow. According to the traditional biblical narrative, God punishes Cain by cursing him to be a wanderer on the earth, marked so that no one would kill him. But when you dig into the apocryphal texts and occult traditions, there's so much more to the story. These sources reveal that Cain's curse isn't just about wandering aimlessly. It's a mark of his true nature and heritage. In the apocryphal texts, particularly the Book of Jubilees and other ancient writings, Cain's curse is described in vivid detail. He's not only marked, but also burdened with a deep sense of guilt and isolation. He's forever separated from the presence of God, a perpetual outsider in a world now hostile to him. This mark is a visible sign of his transgression and his demonic lineage. It's a constant reminder of the forbidden union that brought him into existence. In occult traditions, the mark of Cain is seen as a symbol of great power and great burden. Cain is often depicted as a figure of immense potential, but also one cursed with a dark destiny. The mark isn't just a physical sign, but a spiritual one, indicating his connection to Lucifer. This connection grants him knowledge and abilities beyond those of ordinary humans, but it also comes with a price: eternal conflict and suffering. Cain's complex legacy in occult and Gnostic teachings. Occult traditions paint a fascinating picture of Cain, suggesting that his curse is deeply tied to his role as the ancestor of a lineage defined by rebellion and spiritual conflict. According to these beliefs, Cain's descendants inherit his infamous mark, a symbol of both immense potential and looming peril. This mark isn't just a curse, it's seen as a kind of spiritual inheritance, highlighting Cain's extraordinary abilities and the tragic fate that comes with them. In some esoteric circles, the mark of Cain is even viewed as a badge of honor, representing defiance against divine authority. This perspective shifts our view of Cain from a mere villain to a tragic hero, someone who dared to challenge the established order, only to pay the ultimate price. His curse, therefore, is seen as both a punishment and a testament to his unique role in the cosmic drama. These interpretations are bold, thought-provoking, and a bit unsettling, pushing us to rethink the simplistic portrayal of Cain as purely evil. Instead, we see him as a complex figure, defined by his origins and actions, caught in a struggle that touches on the very essence of good and evil. The Gnostic take on Eve, the serpent, and Cain now. Let's explore how Gnostic perspectives add another layer to the story of Cain, starting with Eve's encounter with the serpent. For those unfamiliar, Gnosticism is a collection of ancient religious ideas that emerged in the early days of Christianity, often challenging mainstream views. In Gnostic texts, the serpent in the Garden of Eden isn't just a deceiver, it's a liberator, a bringer of hidden knowledge. Here's where things get really interesting. Gnostic teachings often portray the serpent as a symbol of the demiurge, a lesser god who created the material world and is portrayed as arrogant and flawed. This demiurge traps human souls in the material world, while the serpent, representing a higher, more benevolent power, seeks to enlighten humanity and free them from this entrapment. When it comes to Cain, Gnostic texts like the Apocryphal of John and the hypostasis of the archons suggest that Eve's interaction with the serpent was not an act of disobedience, but a moment of spiritual awakening. By accepting the serpent's gift of knowledge, Eve gains insight into divine truths that the demiurge wanted to keep hidden. This knowledge goes beyond mere intellect. It's deeply spiritual and even has a sexual dimension. The Gnostics hint that Eve's interaction with the serpent was a profound spiritual union, one that imparted divine wisdom and power to her. This act of rebellion against the demiurge is seen as the beginning of humanity's spiritual awakening. So, where does Cain fit into all of this? According to these Gnostic interpretations, Cain is the offspring of this enlightened union. He isn't just a physical being, but a spiritual one, embodying wisdom and power from the higher realms. This perspective reimagines Cain not as a simple villain, but as a complex figure involved in the cosmic struggle between light and darkness. The Gnostics believed that Cain's actions, including the murder of Abel, were driven by this deeper spiritual conflict. It wasn't just jealousy. It was part of the eternal battle between enlightenment and ignorance, with Abel representing the forces of control and Cain embodying the pursuit of hidden knowledge. In this light, the mark of Cain is not merely a curse, but a symbol of his unique role in the cosmic order, highlighting his spiritual lineage and connection to the higher truths that the Gnostics revered. Kabbalistic insights into Cain's dual nature. In Kabbalistic thought, every action and event in the Torah has a deeper, hidden meaning. Cain's birth is viewed as the result of a profound spiritual event. According to these mystical teachings, Eve's encounter with the serpent wasn't just about physical temptation, it was a metaphysical union. The serpent, symbolizing the darker aspects of the divine, gave Eve a spark of forbidden knowledge, leading to Cain's birth. This spark is both a blessing and a curse, giving Cain extraordinary potential while binding him to a dark destiny. Kabbalistic texts like the Zohar delve into this dual nature of Cain. They suggest that Cain embodies the tension between the divine and the demonic, the sacred and the profane. He is a figure of immense spiritual complexity, marked by his unique origin. The Zohar explains that Cain's soul comes from a higher spiritual realm, but is tainted by the impurity of his conception. This duality is symbolized by the mark placed upon Cain, which is seen not just as a physical sign but as a metaphysical symbol of his role in the cosmic order. It signifies his connection to both the highest and lowest aspects of the divine, serving as a constant reminder of his potential for greatness and his inherent struggle with darker forces. Kabbalistic teachings often dive into the concept of tikkun, or spiritual repair, and Cain's life plays a crucial role in this cosmic balancing act. Far from being a simple villain, Cain is seen as an essential part of a divine plan aimed at restoring harmony after humanity's fall from grace. Cain's story is one of redemption, a journey to overcome the darkness within and unlock his potential for spiritual enlightenment. What's fascinating is that his descendants inherit this spiritual struggle. They carry the same mix of greatness and downfall, making their role in the grand cosmic drama pivotal to humanity's ultimate redemption. Some Kabbalists even believe that some of the greatest sages and mystics are descendants of Cain, working to transform his cursed legacy into a beacon of divine light. Now let's switch gears and explore the hidden history of Lucifer and Eve. This is where things get really intriguing. We're about to dig into secrets that have been kept under wraps for centuries. This isn't just another retelling of the Garden of Eden. This is about forbidden knowledge and bold truths that challenge everything we thought we knew. In occult traditions, the relationship between Lucifer and Eve is mind-blowing. These teachings go beyond the usual interpretations and dive into the profound spiritual and metaphysical implications of their encounter. According to various occult texts, Lucifer's approach to Eve in the garden wasn't just a simple act of temptation, it was an intimate and transformative event. Lucifer, often seen as the fallen angel and bringer of light, didn't deceive Eve just for the sake of it. He was initiating her into deeper, hidden knowledge, engaging in an act of cosmic rebellion against the Creator's established order. In many of these traditions, Lucifer is more of a Promethean figure, a bringer of enlightenment who defies what's seen as a tyrannical divine rule. His union with Eve was a deliberate move to awaken humanity from its imposed ignorance. By sharing his knowledge and power, Lucifer aimed to elevate human consciousness and free us from the constraints of the material world. This forbidden union is said to have resulted in the birth of Cain, a being of immense potential and spiritual power. Cain's lineage, in these beliefs, carries both divine and demonic traits, embodying the eternal struggle between light and darkness, a theme that resonates deeply across many esoteric traditions. What's compelling about these teachings is the idea that Lucifer's actions weren't purely evil. Instead, they're portrayed as a necessary step in human evolution. By defying the Creator and enlightening Eve, Lucifer set off a chain of events that would eventually allow for human spiritual growth and enlightenment. Occult traditions often suggest that this hidden history has been suppressed and demonized by mainstream religions. The relationship between Lucifer and Eve is described as one of mutual respect and shared purpose, aimed at freeing humanity from ignorance and spiritual stagnation. These teachings challenge the traditional concepts of good and evil, suggesting that true enlightenment involves embracing the complexities and dualities of existence. It's a daring perspective that redefines the roles of the key figures in the Garden of Eden, urging us to dig deeper into the stories we think we know. So there you have it, a peek into the hidden history of Lucifer and Eve according to occult traditions. This isn't just about rebellion, it's about the profound and sometimes controversial journey towards spiritual enlightenment and liberation. It's a narrative that pushes us to question, explore, and uncover the deeper truths that lie just beneath the surface. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden secrets of our ancient past, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support means everything and helps keep these fascinating conversations going. God bless, and see you in the next video.